You're listening to It Came From the Radio. This is Jennifer Lee Feldman, aka Dr. Feld, aka Jenny, aka call me Diane. I play that in the movie Deep coming up. You can call me Sherry. I'm wearing the same dress Sherry plays in that movie too. I don't really care. A name is just a name. It's all about the content inside. So this man we're here with has a lot of content inside. He's a very busy guy. Last time I spoke to him, I had to ask him if he ever sleeps, and he said he sleeps 17 hours a night. So he really just must prioritize his time quite well. So today, who are we with? No further ado, Alex Teplish. He's an award-winning innovator, early pioneer in the AI filmmaking, which is going to be a very controversial topic for a lot of you because I hear a lot of hate, but I hear a lot of love, and he's here to teach you. Now, his work, which blends generative AI with storytelling craft, has earned multiple Telly Awards as well as Best Picture Editing at the Festival of Cinema New York City, where his film was recently screened. Beyond his own projects, Alex consults with creative professionals and filmmakers on how to integrate AI into their workflows, while also speaking on how this technology is reshaping the future of entertainment and creativity. Welcome, Alex.
Jenny, thank you for having me today.
It's a pleasure. So I'm looking forward to hear. So let's get right into it now. How did you first get interested in combining AI and filmmaking?
Well, I've been in digital technology my whole career, over 25 years. Whatever technology comes out, I love to experiment with it, push the boundaries. And when generative AI technology came out 3 to 4 years ago, I immediately jumped on it and started to explore what was possible, what were the boundaries there, and just ran with it ever since.
How does your background in digital innovation and creative technology influence your approach to AI filmmaking?
Yeah, I feel like I consider myself a innovator, a futurist, and a creator first. Everything else are just tools that help me achieve uh, my goals and tell stories. So the working with AI, both in a corporate way as well as a creative way, I've been able to tell multiple stories using the various genres and styles, and we'll talk about that a little bit.
Okay, so featured films and achievements. All right, let's dive deep into your award-winning projects. Can you tell us about Our Hands, an immigrant story, which I just listened to 3 different times, and
Mhm.
what makes the film so unique?
So Our Hands is an animated music video. It was for a client who has written a musical, aspiring to get onto Broadway. He's working towards that. The goal of this project was to raise the awareness of the project, bring some buzz to it, bring in investors as well, and sample one of the songs that was professionally recorded for the musical, which will be
Mhm.
sung live once it's on Broadway. So we explored various genres. This was in the earlier days of AI, so we decided to go with an animated route. But rather than make it look cartoony and like a typical animation, we styled it like animated oil paintings. We created the characters and told the story of a family that arrives to the United States, Brighton Beach, Brooklyn specifically, from the former Soviet Union to basically start a new life. And it's a very common story in New York, similar to my background as well. uh, in the story, they arrive to the United States in the late '80s. The parents give up their careers, give up everything they know, their language from the former Soviet Union, to basically create a better life for their children in the United States.
What is it? We work with our hands so you could work with your mind, so they could work with their hearts. Is that what it says?
Yeah, yeah, that's
All right, it's
exactly
in
it.
my head.
It's
All right.
great, great. It's an
All right.
amazing song, and yeah, I think we did a great job with the video. It was accepted into over 20 film festivals. It won 3 Telly Awards,
Hmm.
and as well as some other awards and other international awards.
And this is all AI, so that's a new thing. So, yeah, very interesting. All right, so now your other award-winning film, The Soviet Roswell Incident, has a very different style and story. How did that project come about, and what was the creative process like?
Yeah, so that project was started with an experiment. This was in the
Hmm.
days when there was no AI video yet, only AI images. I created it as a storyboard first, just experimenting with what's possible. I laid it out as if it was leaked documents or long lost documents from KGB in the Soviet Union. And it depicts a series of UFO crashes in this Siberia in the late 1940s and early 1950s. And the concept is that the KGB covered it up and only now has the documents, the footage, and some surviving witnesses have come forward to tell this story. It's obviously, maybe not obviously, but it's a science fiction documentary, which I call a
Hmm.
mockumentary.
Hmm. Hmm. Do you think that there are aliens in Russia or the United States, or maybe I'm an alien?
Maybe you're an alien. Yeah, I mean, there's the universe is vast, and there's no reason why other intelligent species or any life doesn't exist beyond Earth. And so, pretty sure that it exists out there. Can't say for sure that they've been to Earth, but there's a lot of anomalies, both in ancient history and in current times.
According to two psychics who don't know each other, I'm part alien from my dad, who is like 90% alien, and from his side. So I'm like, wait, there's two people that are saying I'm an alien from my dad's side of the family? All right. So back to you now. These films, what do these films illustrate about the range and the potential of AI filmmaking?
Yeah, I mean, them being different genres, they tell completely different stories. The ability to really tell a story is what comes first, whether it's animation, live action, um, or anything in between, even stop motion, claymation. It's all possible with AI.
All right, so since your work's been primarily AI filmmaking, how do you envision blending traditional filmmaking techniques with AI in future projects?
Right. So it doesn't have to be all AI. There are definitely hybrid approaches, taking live action footage and creating effects, title screens, sound effects, voiceovers, even music is all possible with AI. It allows the creators to save on budget,
Mhm.
also create things a lot faster, and push the boundaries of what maybe they wouldn't have been able to do with their traditional filmmaking style or equipment or a budget.
So I was making a film over the course of a couple years. All right, it's a whole feature film. Now we have one actor who failed to show up at a farm to finish 2 pages of this movie, and he's not going to finish the movie. I in my gut knew, so I said we better just rewrite this thing and shoot it. And we shot it that night, and we made up a whole new ending because I said I don't think this guy's coming back. And the next
Mm.
day we found that he's not. Now, as a troubleshooter, so let's say I'm imaginarily hiring you right now as my troubleshooter to finish these last 2 pages with the actor won't show up. Can we do that through AI? Can you help us do that through AI? What would you do?
It's definitely possible. You can take the likeness of the person and recreate it with AI, have them
Hmm.
speak, especially if it's a distance shot, even more so. Uh, you can recreate the scenes with AI. You can also shoot an actual scene and then insert the person through post production and comping. So there's a lot of options out there, and I think AI could solve that kind of problem.
So we're already there. We don't need to bully or threaten this actor to show up to set. We could just finish it without him right
Well, it
now.
also
We're already
depends on
there.
what kind of, it also depends on what contract you have with each actor. I know
Okay.
within the Screen Actors Guild, they have very strict contracts.
Hmm.
If
Hmm.
it's a non-union job, you may have a little bit more leeway, but still there are contracts, and
Yeah,
depending on what permission you have to use their likeness.
that's a good answer. All right, so now there's a lot of debate about AI in creative fields. I know I listen to it multiple times a week from all sides. Now, how do you respond to the concerns that AI might replace human creativity?
I personally think that it actually enhances human creativity. It democratizes.
Um, uh-oh, you froze. Uh-oh. Hello? Whoops.
Yeah, so AI, I believe, is actually enhancing human creativity. It gives people the opportunity to create things that they wouldn't have had an opportunity to create without a high budget, without millions of dollars. The effects that you can create right now, the scenery, the type of characters, the animation, all in the past was gate kept by these large corporations with millions of dollars. Even an animated film these days starts off at 30, $50 million minimum, if not over $100 million. And now this really gives the ability for creators who are just getting started to create high budget looking products. Um, and it doesn't mean that they have to do everything in AI. They can shoot live action, mix it with AI technology to enhance the special effects, the scenes, maybe even some characters that they can't necessarily create with live action. All that can be created with AI. I do believe that this technology is democratizing the space for creators.
Right. So with the democratizing of it, do you think that some of these studios are going to go away? Because the films, from what I've heard, I don't know if it was 5 years ago, but let's say 5, 6 years ago, let's say there's 30 plus movies in a year and multiple TV shows. Now it's like, I don't know, somewhere between like 5 to 13 for some of these big studios because, well,
Mhm.
one, the money's not there or in streaming, so movie theaters. And then also, everyone and their mother is a filmmaker. So what do you think about that? Do you think that Hollywood, there's going to be a hub like Hollywood or New Orleans, New York, or do you think that filmmaking is going to be everywhere, Idaho, all over the place due to AI? What do you think about that?
Think it'll be a combination of the two. We've heard of the term too big to fail when it comes to banks and large corporations.
Hmm.
So it seems like the films have become too expensive to fail. And one way that we can bring down the cost is by using this technology to enhance creativity and to do things at a much lower budget in a quicker period of time. So the studios are also adopting these tools. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
they will continue to make high budget films, but still with a lower budget than what they've spent in the past. It almost seems like because of their high budgets from the past, they've had to curtail the creativity. They continue to reboot the same stories over and over again, superhero movies, certain genres, and they're not willing to experiment or take a chance on new stories. But this new technology will give them an opportunity to take a chance, but also unknown creators will have the same opportunity and be able to compete with these big budget studios.
So, similar question. Where do you see AI filmmaking going in the next 3 to 5 years?
I think that it's at its infancy still, and it'll just continue to improve. So people who are in it or are using these tools in the early stages will continue to grow alongside it. I encourage anyone who's interested to start learning now before it gets complicated and it'll become overwhelming for certain people to learn it from the beginning, unless you go to a special school. But right now is a great time to learn.
Mhm.
Studios are going to be gradually adopting it. They've already done it, in some cases. Um, and I think what we're going to see is a potentially a renaissance of new stories being told that in the
Hmm.
past studios and people weren't able to put out there.
Yeah, I'd like to put out my Haley Weinstein producer from hell with real stories from real hellish producers I've dealt with in 41 years. Now that's the last question here. What kind of feedback have you received from the festivals, your friends, audiences about your AI driven films?
Right. So whether it's AI created or not, the purpose of a story is to drive emotion into the audience. When it comes to the animated music video, Our Hands, a lot of people have said that it made them cry, it made them
Hmm.
emotional, it reminded them of their own family's background. In fact, there was a gala held at the Museum of Jewish Heritage in Manhattan recently, where they screened the video as an opener for the event for over 200 people. And a lot of people were really emotional about it, came up to me and told me how much they enjoyed watching it. And then when it comes to the Soviet Roswell incident, it was also screened at a film festival at an actual movie theater. Most of the films at this film festival, I would say 99.9% of the films there were not AI. They were the
Mm.
traditional films. And I ended up winning Best Picture Editing for
Right.
the award from that film festival. And I use traditional film editing, regardless of the footage being created through AI, live action. I still had to spend a lot of time in a tool like Premiere Pro, doing the editing, the sound design, and putting it all
Mhm.
together so that it drives the actual story. And then again, at the film festival, a lot of great reception, lots of interesting questions. Some people were confused. Is this real? Did this actually happen? Um,
Ah,
Even though I introduced the story right at the beginning with a definition of what a mockumentary was, it was
right.
so convincing that people actually, thought this could be real.
Wow. All right, we're at the end of the interview. So, anything on your mind you'd like to share with the audience, viewers, just anything?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a term called Luddites. It goes
Hmm.
back to I believe the 18th century, where textile workers who were creating clothing in the old-fashioned way broke into factories and started to destroy machinery because they didn't want their
Whoa.
jobs taken away. The same thing happened with the horse industry when cars were invented. It happened with portrait painters when photography was invented. Digital video editing versus traditional video editing, so many other industries. When new technology comes out, people um, who refuse to change, and I like to quote Bruce Lee, be like water. You want to
Yeah.
adapt to your surroundings. So I do encourage everyone to explore the new technology,
Mhm.
still continue doing what you're doing, but explore new technology, start to include it in your workflow. And don't be closed-minded. I mean, you may be left behind if you are.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, I didn't want to switch from tapes to CDs, and it took my dad in fifth grade bring over a whole bunch of CDs for some holidays. And you got to switch. We're done with tapes. You have to switch. And I didn't want navigation in my car. I didn't want a lot of stuff. I also writing things on piece of paper. Someone called me crumpled paper girl because I didn't want to use devices because I liked seeing things by hand. So anyway, that's the very end of our interview. You can find Alex Teplish. It's Rabbit Vortex on YouTube. Website is Digitech Force, so it's Digitech force.com. What else? What am I missing any other socials for you? We have
I mean,
Fallout Musical.
I have a unique name, so you could find me on all the socials. I'm probably one of the only people with that name, Alex Teplish. Um, yeah, and just want to thank you again for having me.
Thank you. I have a lot of catching up to do. He's written so many things. He's done so many things. So have I, but differently. And I really want to do some deep dive stalking. So if you feel any stalker energy in the next few months when I get some downtime, it's going to be me. Yeah,
Walk
because I
away.
barely had the chance to get to this interview, and my webcam obviously hasn't been tested. You got to use a webcam apparently in the dark because things change. But anyway, that's lighting problems with computers. That's enough about me. Now for more, it came from the radio with Mark Torres. Back to the studio.